Hello everybody, welcome back. Looking at the tornado right now that is still roaming around. It's in the middle of the map now, so it basically can go in all directions. I have no idea, we'll see. And I also need to make sure that my fleet stays safe. I now have two fleets, in fact, that I'm going to well, control manually, as we can see. And we will definitely need to take care of, well, the fleet if the tornado is coming closer, because buildings, well, we can just rebuild. The fleet though, that is pretty expensive and I want to keep it. Now this is another pretty cool episode, because now what we can do is two things. First of all, the nuclear power plant. We need more energy, and the energy problem is definitely something that is coming up more often. And yep, with the nuclear power plant we can solve quite a lot of these problems. So what I need to do in order to prepare for that is I will have now my building building transport line that we can have. So let's put it up there, and we're just going to call it building materials. It's for everything that we've basically done so far, right? And it's starting in Omicron, goes to Cyberpunk, stopping here right away. It goes then to Neon and back Cyberpunk and back to Omicron, right? So in Omicron it's going to take always reinforced concrete or just normal concrete. In Cyberpunk it's always going to take let's see, tools and building modules, because that's basically what we're doing here quite often. And in Neon it's always going to take the steel that we have. There's the steel. Now in Cyberpunk, once again, we're going to unload this time then the tools and the building modules, because there might still be some left, or we just take it back on. Actually, this doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? No, what we're going to do is we're going to unload the steel. And there we have it, that we took up from Neon. And from Omicron we go to Cyberpunk, we're going to unload the concrete, right? Even though we are full on concrete, because we have a smaller production in Cyberpunk as well. On the other hand, I think we're producing tools and building modules in Neon as well. So what I'm just going to do is in Omicron we're going to unload tools and building modules and steel as well, right? So that we do have that material also in Omicron. So everywhere else we're producing everything anyway. Neon does require though the concrete. Right, so I think this is it. Cyberpunk, oh yeah, steel, Cyberpunk, we have that. And perhaps even more concrete if there's something left over. Right, I think we should have everything. Let's add a ship and let's add our big trader for it. And off it goes, doing its job, distributing now all the building materials that we have for everything. Now in Cyberpunk we already have lots of steel and concrete, so here I could have my first nuclear power plant. The only thing I need for it is an available, well, mining site, and we have one exactly down here. So this is where we could have it now, there. And let's just see, what we do need for that is first of all uranium. So we're going to take the uranium now to, or the ore, right? This one requires then the fuel element factory. It requires uranium and produces the fuel rods out of it. By the way, it's also producing or consuming quite a lot of energy there. And then that's basically it, I think, right? Then we have the fuel rods, and out of that, those fuel rods are being then transported to our nuclear power plant that we have here. That is costing a lot of stuff though, right? So 3,000 credits, 36 tons of steel, and also reduces the equibalance by 22, and it costs permanently 70 on the traffic. But look at this building, fantastic. We will have our nuclear power plant. How much is it producing, by the way? 750 energy, right? So that's quite a lot of energy for the future, and we can basically build it here. Boom, a nuclear power plant, fantastic. The thing we should be having here definitely is though some protection. So I'm going to add 2 flags to the system here, and I'm also going to apply harbor defense turrets that we might need at the port authority. So here. Energy supply. Oh yes, and there's an energy problem now because of that. And oh boy, really? Is that tornado going into Cyberpunk? First of all, it destroyed a ship of us now. It's really going into our... I don't believe it. This is so typical. The first tornado in this game, and it's going right for my city, and it is really going for my shipyards now, right? Oh, Tycoon military shipyard. He wants me to destroy it or what? I'm going to get rid of them, getting some materials back. I don't believe that. Through my defense. Sure thing. My ARRC can take it, and it's off again, I hope. Oh, come on. Through my very defense. Alright, let's build it again. Two of them and another flag that I would like to have here too. Thank you. And we do need the shipyard there once again. Now, what is the quest about? Demolish the following building, military shipyard. He actually wanted me to demolish it. Alright, that's fine. We had to anyway. And please don't tell me it's going for my second island now. You can definitely take down this ship there. Alright. Oh, please don't. Don't do this to me. It's actually going through my productions. Alright. I think that's it though. If it's not turning around again. I hate tornadoes. Alright, it's off. We lost one basalt crusher. This one is definitely going down. There's nothing we can do about that. And we can rebuild it though quickly. As quickly as pie. There we have it again. Right, so not the biggest damage if it's not coming back again, that is. The professor has a quest for us. We need to find 5 taxis. And by the way, I've lost my distribution trader. So what I need to do is, first of all, I'm going to have the Tycoon logistic shipyard that we might be squeezing in here. Again, where we already had it, because I really would like to build my container ship now. We do have the steel then, hopefully. And on the other hand, I think, yeah, we're lacking a bit of energy. Basically, also, this is not producing right now because we're lacking the energy to produce it, right? So I do need to counter this. We do have the coal, right? Coal we have plenty of, so I can have a power plant now. A coal power plant, just for now. Coal power station. Just for now, so that we get rid of all of that. And because of the steel, we do need a bit more steel. We're producing that in Neon anyway. Tornado is gone, very good. No more problem here. Let's get all the steel that we basically have right now. We lost a lot of building materials because of the tornado. And we are also pretty full on concrete here, for example. We need to upgrade those buildings. And let's just go for the steel. And there we got it in all its glory. Our first real big trading ship. Look at that. It's beautiful. And this one can be now on this trade route. Swordfish it is called. And we have Swordfish now on this trading route here. We can still add 2 more goods to it, right? Because it has that many cargo slots. But for now, it's going to do the job. One thing I've noticed is that the ultimatum here satisfy the following demands. Demolish the military shipyard and maintain it for 17 minutes. That is bugged out because the quest is going to fail in 1 minute 30. How can we satisfy this if the ultimatum itself is shorter than the condition? Right, so we need to maintain it longer than the quest actually lasts. That doesn't make sense, and I think this is going to lead to a war declaration. Now, we don't have any defense yet in Omicron, and I will need to do this quickly now. There we have it. We should be having all the materials necessary, and yep, I would like to have a flag here once again for defense. We might actually build 2 of them, and then also 2 of these. Very good. That ship is doing its job now, getting the concrete, for example. And this warship is definitely coming back home again to my other wharf, to my real main wharf fleet. Let's just see what happens there. I also need to get 5 taxis from Cyberpunk. I need to collect them and get them to the professor, and we should definitely do this. There was a taxi, so you need to be quick about it. We just see a blue outline around them, around these cars. Alright, and once fulfilled, we get the 5 taxes now to the professor. And, oh, yeah, look at that. The quest is actually lasting, so we have demolished the building, right? And he's now waiting 15 minutes, so it's not going to fail. So there's no big war coming for now. That's good. And I still can now continue with expansion. Now, one thing that I've noticed that I just realized now is that I haven't checked uranium. And look at that. Yep, we are lacking uranium. So I did the same mistake again that I've already done once. We only have uranium here in Neon. Right, so for my, military or for my power plant, I can't do this here. I mean, I could produce uranium here and deliver it then to, Cyberpunk and produce the energy here. But, yeah, I don't think we have that much uranium anyway. And I do need lots of energy here because we still need lots of production. Speaking of productions, we should now have lots of stuff. Very good, so we also unloaded now a bunch of reinforced concrete, and we have also turned in the quest. Very good. And what I can do now here is we should be continuing now with the production, right? We have the truffles. We need to activate this one still. So that's an item. There we have it. And let's activate it. And now we have truffles fertility in Omicron. And that means we can now start with a beautiful production on this island here. What I can see first is that we still will require some more energy, as always. And it might actually make sense now to start with the... Yep, with the uranium mine here. We can build it. And then the fuel rod processor, because we still have lots of energy here anyway, right? Produce the fuel rods and get them down there to Omicron, where we can then have a power plant for our new productions. We need 2 more productions coming up. So first of all is the luxury meal. We can do all of that here. And the other one would be then the champagne that we... Oh, we do need the wine fertility for that. There we have it. In neon. Oh, that's lucky. So we do have another production chain already secured for us. We need to continue there quickly. Now that is that. While we wait on those things to take action, what we can still do is we can now purchase the SAT blueprint for 10,000 credits. Right, that is something we can do at the ARRC. So here, and there we have it.
Welcome. My name is Professor Dr. Salman Devi. I am the spokesperson for the Independent Science Council at SAAT, the leading international forum for research and science. We have been observing your activities in this sector with great curiosity, and if you will permit me this personal remark, we are fascinated by your potential. Under the direction of its presiding artificial intelligence, Father, the SAAT Ethics Council has concluded that the risk involved in granting you access to our latest high-tech procedures is acceptable, a decision which I wholeheartedly endorse. If you so wish, you can have immediate access to our underwater technologies for deep-sea use. They will very quickly solve your raw material shortages. In addition, we will also grant you a license to establish laboratories and academies and allow you access to our aircraft construction plans. I imagine you must be speechless, and you get all this for just a small contribution towards the continuation of our research.
Fantastic, and 10,000 there it is, and we've paid it, and with that we have now unlocked the tax. So a whole new population. And this one allows us also to build now the carbon that we don't need as a new building material. We've also unlocked a few of them, alright. And what we can now do is, first of all, we can now get the submarine. We can order it for another 5,000. Let's do this real quick. And out of our ARRC comes the submarine, the ballooner. And with that, we can now go underwater wherever we want to, like here, for example, and look out for some land that we might establish there, or well, some land that we might find to build something on it. And for that, I do need to have my module ready. Do we need a quest for that? I don't think so. No, we haven't received a quest. The only thing I will need is some building materials. So that's some building modules, some tools that I'm going to take with me, some concrete, and also some steel. Righto, and with that I suggest we go down there somewhere. This looks like it. There we have something. This is looking good already. Let's just have a look what we can find down here. This island looks promising. We will need to go close to it, right? And then dive down into the ocean. That's pretty cool. Build an underwater base. Once my submarine has arrived, we can dive down. All there is. And down here we are now. Can I still see what good this plateau here is for us? Because yep, there we have it now. As we can see it, very good. So we have some algae here. We do have manganese nodules and sponge cultures. It has unlimited recyclable materials, which is sand, I think. It has lots of oil. That's pretty good. And basically has everything that we need, I guess. Yeah, so this is looking good. It has lots of building space on it. So we could build now our first underwater base. And yep. Perhaps we should do it a bit more closely. Nah, let's have it in the center there, so we can expand into all directions. And boom! There we have it. Abyssal, it is called. Our glorious underwater base. that we have now. And there's basically not that much happening right away because we need to open up our first productions here. And carbon, we now have solved, by the way, the oil problem, I think, because here we do have some of these oil or black smokers. Let's just check this one. That is the oil, this one here. There we have 1 and 2. So I think 3 even. Very good. We could have 3 of these oil plateaus now. And they actually don't cost me that much, right? It's only 12 tools and 18 building modules, but no carbon at this point. And they produce a lot of this oil that we can have. Now the only thing is that we do require some electricity down here. And for that I do need the marine concurrent power plant. And let's have this one basically here. And this is providing the energy we need right away. And now we can have the oil, this one here, being stationed here for more oil. And thus we don't need any, well, basically any oil fertility like here or oil resources. So I might actually build the first one, get the oil then for Cyberpunk, because the fuel rods we need for something else. Right, let's build it there. Very good. And it's appearing now up here. And we can basically trade it now. Let's build up a trade route for that, a new one, and this is an oil trade route, our first one. Oil, and we're delivering now from Abyssal to Cyberpunk, all the oil that we need. And here we're going to load it now. And there we have it. And unloading it in Cyberpunk, very good. And we just need basically a very small ship that we have. A freight ship, Onyx, is available for this. And on the way now. And by the way, we have the steel. Let's build another big freighter. This one. Oh, building materials. We don't have that many of it. Another thing, once again, that we need to do is having our, well, our plastic production here. So this is where the oil, the additional oil production comes into play now as well. We're producing way more oil with that than with the oil drillers, right? For now, I'm just going to have additional oil drillers here because I need the oil for the power production at the moment, so I can build 4 more here. And we're going to have then another refinery. And I think we can actually afford 2 refineries and then 2 more of these plastic labs. That should hopefully be it. We are reducing the aqua balance, but it's still at a very good level there anyway. Right, so we have more of this plastic. Oil we have a bit still, but of course it's all about the refined oil, where we basically have nothing at the moment. This is looking really dirty here. The quest is also running out, so we can once again rebuild our military shipyard that we do need for more ships. So there we have it. Hello everybody, and we also secured a bit of more peace than with Tor Strindberg that we don't need to worry about for now. Now I would really like to expand my town, so the champagne, or well, the luxury food is going to be my next one. Now here we do have lots of building materials, so 105 for that. And we might just be able now to build, first of all, the lobster farm, the truffle farm, and the gourmet factory. All of them need steel. Also, the first oil has been delivered now from our underwater base. So instead of the power plant here, the nuclear power plant, which is just way too insecure anyway for a big city, right? We're going to have some normal oil factory here. And this is already producing 200 energy right away. And here we can wait for the river power plant that we unlock with the tax then later for this area. So this is a major project and we can build it then, and this is also producing a lot of energy. But for now we should be happy with the oil or the crude power plant. We also have the first diseases now, so a little pandemic that is spreading out here. If we don't act quickly, we might, well, lose quite a few people. So let's just have a hospital. Unfortunately, once again, it's a big building with a very small radius. This happens quite often, and thus I will not cover the whole game with it or the whole city with it, but at least a portion of it. So here and here going through the center might be good. And yeah, we unfortunately need to get rid of 4 of these houses. Let's get rid of the smaller ones and build a hospital. The hospital is still looking pretty cool, I think. Beautiful building, and it's now treating the patients and hopefully does it in time, because as we can see, it is spreading throughout the town.
The Ministry of Truth is...
Now, before we can start in Omicron, first of all, Omicron is going to be for additional production chains now that we have for Cyberpunk, but we are also starting up our tech city here. Before I can do all of that, I still need to do one more thing, and that is the building materials trade route that we have. So in Neon, we are going to load now additional fuel rods. So these fuel rods are being then transported to Omicron, where we can unload them, and they're used for the nuclear power plant, right? Because oil I'm already producing now, but that's used for Cyberpunk. We are using lots of oil and coal for Neon, and Omicron, which is the high-tech city, is going to get the nuclear power plant. I think it makes also sense, right? Because it's high-tech and stuff like that. So for Neon, we can actually, or well, for the tax, we can then already start here. And the Champagne, as we can see, we now have building materials here too, quite a lot. And I really like this. So we are now starting to distribute more and more building materials throughout my colonies, throughout my islands, thanks to this trading network that we have. So here, we do have a bit of space. I do also have the lobster production. I think I suggest we start with the next one. Look at my balance though. We need to be careful about that. I think this is going to cost me quite a lot on my balance. These thingies here. And I still need to wait for the fuel rods. So what I can do is I'm going to lower the taxes for the employees. This will probably make us red. Yep, it is. I'm also reducing the amount of taxes for the workers. We are now deep red, but for a moment only, I would like to expand my main town, and we can also have a few more buildings here. We already have a casino, and beside it, oh yeah, there we have the monument. I forgot, so it's fine if I build it like that. And there we have the casino, and around it then we have more and more buildings now that I'm going to need for this area. We have the building materials just fine, and yeah, by the way, I do have lots of building materials on my other islands anyway, and here we can basically expand en masse to the other sides. Also here, another full block. Perfect. That's going to be lots of taxes, and of course we still need to compensate with the production there as well before we can continue here. And in the next episode, we can then finally start with the techies and also with the nuclear power plant and our next production chains for my engineers. Stay tuned.
That's what I'm talking about.